Welcome everyone to Rising Out of the Chrysalis Stories That Inspire with Marissa Grace, where we share life stories of struggle and triumph, not only of my own life experiences, but also through the experiences of my own guests, as a way to help you have breakthroughs and find hope in your own life.
Welcome everyone to this episode. And today I really wanted to talk about shadow work. And what is it? It's really about working on everything, all of the emotions that you've been suppressing over the years. What I've noticed is a lot of times when I work with clients, especially if it's the first time they're actually working, um, towards healing their emotions or their past trauma. And it's like the first time they're really going for it to start the healing process. What often happens is days and weeks afterwards, they become over flooded with emotions, with sadness, with depression. Like it feels like an overflow of emotion that everything just comes up and it feels worse than what they were experiencing before. But what's really happening is you kind of open up that Pandora's box. You have finally given permission to your subconscious, to your mind, to your body that you're ready to start dealing with everything you've been suppressing. So, everything that you've been stuffing in the closet your whole entire life, from the time you were a baby up until, whatever recent or the last year or months, um, that you haven't dealt with. As soon as you give permission, as soon as you allow yourself to start going through the process of healing, your body goes, "Oh my God, finally, yes, I can breathe." And it just opens up this overflow of emotions, and it could be very overwhelming. Um, you may not be ready to deal with it, and sometimes um, it could be so overwhelming where you have to go and get help immediately because you just can't handle the um, the impact of all those emotions. But the truth is, once you give that permission to your body and mind that you are ready, is allowing for those emotions to just pass through and not panic, not get caught up in the fear of the overwhelm, because um, they do subside, they do pass through. It's your body allowing itself to feel again, especially if you have denied yourself the opportunity to feel the emotions. Because at some point in your life, in your childhood, you're constantly told you're not allowed to cry, you're not allowed to express how you feel, you have to stay quiet, or you came to the conclusion that, or you gave yourself this belief that in order for me to stay safe, I must be quiet. Must not speak up. I must not say anything. And therefore, by staying quiet, by going within and suppressing everything, then I will be safe. And you end up numbing those feelings and never able to process them. And so now that you've given permission to your body, you have to allow for the body to be able to release those emotions. And yes, they can be overwhelming. It's seeking assistance that from someone that can help you through the process of allowing your body and your mind to kind of just feel the emotions, but not get stuck within the emotion or not get stuck in the fear that of the experience that you're having. Because if you allow yourself to just feel and let those emotions pass through, you realize that just in a matter of days, those emotions will will subside. They will go away. Um, and this is what shadow work is about working once you become aware of all of these things that come into the surface that kind of just comes out of the closet. It's like even stuffing stuff inside of that closet. We all have like a drawer. We all have a closet or bin that where we just keep stuffing stuff, right? You get the mail and you stuff everything in there. And then one day you go to open that drawer or that closet and everything just comes down crashing on you. So we can fall victim to that when everything comes and falls crashing on top of you when you open that closet. You can fall victim into it, or you become aware that, oh my goodness, look how much crap I've been stuffing in here, and it's time to do a cleanup, right? And at some point or another, we realize that. And this can be manifested in a physical form where you are physically doing this, where you are accumulating material things and stuffing them. You don't realize that you've been hoarding certain things and you keep bringing things in that you really don't need. And next thing you know, your garage is full of stuff. And it's stuff that you don't use, that you don't need, but you just keep bringing in or stuffing that closet. Like I explained before, you just keep bringing more stuff and more stuff. That's an indication, a physical indication of reflecting exactly of what's going on inside of you. That is a sign that's telling you, hey, this is just not a physical thing, it's an emotional thing as well. And your body, your behavior is being played out in a physical form to show you exactly what you actually internally doing as well. So just as when you open up that closet and everything comes crashing down into you and you realize, oh my goodness, I need to do something about this. I need to start cleaning this out, organizing this closet, removing the things that don't longer serve me, that are no longer in use. That's exactly what happens. You start noticing, oh my goodness, I've had all of these suppressed emotions, these belief systems that I've been stuffing in. I haven't been dealing with them, I've been ignoring them. I don't want to face them. And it's the realization that it's time to do some cleanup. And you don't have to deal with a whole closet all at once. You can start small with a few things. Each day, work on something. Each month or weeks, just work on one thing at a time. And slowly, as you work through each thing, you are going to start feeling lighter and better. And you're going to realize the changes within you. And we can go back to the hoarding situation where, it's going to be difficult at first when you start cleaning out that closet. There are going to be things that you want to hold on to that you've attached meaning to. Um, but you have to realize that even if it's a physical thing, what value is it really bringing into your life? And the meaning that you've attached to that thing, if it's a sentimental thing, you can still be able to carry the memory of that sentiment of the event. My grandma gave this to me and means so much to me. It was given out of love. That feeling of love from grandma, that's something that you can still keep, but that doesn't mean that you have to keep the physical item, especially if the physical item is not serving a purpose. It's all it's doing is carrying an energy and taking up space, and it's occupying the space. So think of all of those emotions and those belief systems that you've been carrying as taking up space in your energy field. So if they're taking up the space, they're really not allowing you to bring in different feelings or emotions that you want to experience. So if you've been carrying the weight of perhaps a regret, of shame or anger, those emotions that you've been carrying and suppressing are taking up space and now not allowing you to experience the things that you actually want to experience, which is freedom, not having that anger, the freedom to be free from these emotions, of feeling joyful, peaceful, loving. So those emotions that you are wishing to experience, they need space. They need a place to be held. And if that closet is full of junk, then there's no space. You have to make the space so that you bring in exactly what you want to bring in. So working on those shadows, the shadows are really a reflection of the things that we've been shoving in the closet and not really addressing. And it's not scary. It's may seem scary at first and overwhelming when we first experience that overload, when we become aware of how much. But do not cave in into the fear. The fear is just tricking you into think that it's impossible. That it's impossible to get rid of this. And it could be very overwhelming. And we can take that analogy even when we're cleaning up space, right? If we're trying to clean up a space where we've accumulated things over the years, at first, when we look at that space, whether it's the closet or the garage, and we see everything, our first reaction is overwhelmed. It's like, oh my goodness, how am I ever going to get through this? And the key is not to be led into the fear that it's impossible. Everything is possible. And allowing yourself to ask for help. You can't do everything by yourself. We can definitely accomplish things, but it does take much longer. So, by allowing yourself to ask for the help, allowing yourself to just um, allow that to commit, to surrender, really allowing yourself to surrender into allowing others to help you to get through. Because as you work through those pieces, it could be overwhelming. And by allowing yourself to be vulnerable enough to surrender to the possibility to bring in someone to help you or various people. And this can be through various modalities, you know. Don't allow yourself to be stuck on one thing. Try different things, see what works for you. Allow that to come in and help you sort things out. Um, Process each thing as you're letting go. Allow the different ways that it can help you to analyze. Is this something worth keeping? What does it mean to me? Do I really need it anymore? Did it serve its purpose? Um, and am I ready to let it go and be able and okay to let those pieces go those emotions, that trauma, to be okay with it and no longer have the need to hang on to them. So it is a process, and the process takes time. So there is no one quick fix method. I think only God and the universe has that power to totally transform you overnight, and that requires the death of the old you and a rebirth of a brand new you. But then it won't be you, it'll be something new. So a transformation and the healing process is a process of dealing with each layer, of being patient with yourself, of having love towards the self, of allowing that space and acceptance that even when something seems that it's not working, that it is working for you, it is helping you, it is guiding you in some way in the right direction. Sometimes during this healing process, it may seem that nothing is working, but in fact, everything is working and it's totally perfect. Only because it is our human nature to have this expectation, and this is not your fault. We've been led by an illusion um, that things can be magical, right? We've been exposed to Disney movies with Cinderella stories that there's a magic wand and everything just transforms overnight. It transforms within the hour, and there's a Prince Charming that comes our way and changes our whole life. So we've been brainwashed throughout our whole life with stories, with belief systems, that there's this idea of transformation, this magic that takes place, and it's, an instantaneous thing. And that is not really true. The magic is actually the journey, the whole journey. And it's, if you can find the magic of that journey, what you are going to find is that you are your own Prince Charming. You are that Cinderella story, except it's not the way that it was been told to us. I remember as a child thinking, oh my goodness, if this is true, and really believing in that Cinderella story, that there would be a Prince Charming, that, this could happen and could totally change my world, until I came to the realization that the only one that can change my world is me. That Prince Charming is not somebody outside of me. I am that Prince Charming. I am that Cinderella. I am that. And I get to create that experience. It's nothing outside of me. And it is a process. And the process can take as long as you need it to be. If you are in a position that you can do that transformation in a short period of time, you will be able to achieve that. But for some of you, it's a process that may take years. For some of you, it may take months. And for a handful of you, it may just take a matter of days. And it all also depends on the depth, how much clutter have you been accumulating? How much have you been hoarding over your whole life? How much have you been suppressing? How many skeletons do you have in a closet that you are afraid to face? And a lot of times it's the the fear of facing those things, of facing the hurt, of realizing, okay, I have to face this thing that I've been avoiding all my life. Someone really hurt me. And for me to face that and to look at that and to validate that it happened is scary. It's so scary that we think that we're just going to die. If we go and face that, it's going to be so painful that it's just going to destroy me. But that's just a lie. That is just a lie of our own fears to stop us from progressing. The transformation comes when we are brave enough to face those fears. And once we do, we realize the power that we have of transforming that, because there's a powerful transformation that can take place when we are brave enough to face those things. And it could be, I had an abortion and I feel guilty. There's so much guilt of what I did, of shame. I'm so shameful and I can't live with myself. What you're actually doing is punishing yourself. You're punishing yourself. And the best way to heal yourself is to face it, to acknowledge, okay, I did this. I take responsibility for my actions. And I'm ready to let go of the shame because I'm no longer the person that I was when I made those choices. I'm in a position now to make different choices. But I wasn't then. I was in a totally different situation. There were totally different circumstances. And now I'm a different person. But I take responsibility and I'm ready to move on. I'm ready to let go of the shame and the guilt. I'm ready to reclaim my life. And I have the right to live, you know, and not letting those choices, though that trauma, that hurt, to dictate the rest of your life. You have the right to let that go, and you have the right to live, and you have the right to live a very peaceful, loving, joyful life. That is our human right. And we have choice. We have a choice that we can make on what direction we want to take in our lives. And perhaps whatever experience you had may now give you the ability to direct your life in a path that perhaps is going to help someone, or it's going to bring good to humanity, to a community, to your family. But that cannot happen as long as you keep all those skeletons in a closet. You keep refusing to face those shadows. You keep refusing to deal with the clutter that you keep stuffing. And all you keep doing is adding, and you keep adding. So that's not helping you. And in order for you to feel what you want to feel, because we all have a desire to feel loved, to feel accepted, to feel enough, to feel worthy. We all have that desire because that's who we are meant to be. But you cannot bring in those emotions and those feelings and those experiences into your reality until you make room for them. That means you have to let go. You have to let go of the things that are not serving you. You cannot hold both of them in your closet. You cannot hold the feeling of having a beautiful closet with ample space where everything's stored neatly and also hold a closet full of clutter. That can't happen in that same closet. It's impossible. You have to get rid of stuff to be able to reorganize that closet the way you wanted it to be. So if you have a desire to be a certain way, to achieve a certain emotional feeling, experience, know that the only way to reach that is to let go of the things that were preventing you, the things that you've been shoving in that closet, the things that you've been ignoring to face and heal in all those parts of you. So, this is time if you um, have been thinking about it, what it is, um, what should I do? What's my next step? Where should I start? Start with one thing, start with that one emotion. Um, if you're feeling right now, I'm feeling sad, I don't feel like myself, I'm feeling angry, start with that emotion. Start writing it down, start acknowledging that you're feeling that, and then start asking yourself, where is this coming from? Why am I experiencing this? What belief system am I giving myself? What are the thoughts that keep coming up that are triggering this emotion? And start making peace with that emotion. Then start bringing yourself to the what you want instead, and say, thank you for the anger. You've been serving me all these years. Thanking it for making me realize that actually I've been angry at my mom. She wasn't there for me, for abandoning me. But I realize now that if I keep holding on to this, I will never be free. And I want to be free. And I choose to let that go because I'm choosing something better for myself. And you can just start there one at a time. Take your time to process, seek help, seek different modalities, different ways. There's so many um, ways that you can go about in helping you understand and process these emotions, whether it's breath work, EFT, hypnotherapy, Reiki, um, yoga, meditation. Explore all of them. See what helps you. See what's best suited for you and go from there. Don't be afraid to try different things. And even if something doesn't work, that doesn't mean you have failed. It just means that you're actually progressing and it's leading you to a different direction. It's helping you figure out what's going to work for you. And don't be afraid don't let yourself fall into the fear that it's too much. I can't face this. This is impossible for me. I could never. I'm going to be this way for the rest of my life. Do not let yourself be led to those false thoughts, that that negative self-talk that comes in and tries to pull you away from reaching the goal that you want to achieve. So this is what I wanted to share with you today. And hopefully it gets you motivated to go out, do something positive in your life, and start working on decluttering that closet within you and also that physical closet within your space. Um, that is a reflection of what really is going on emotionally in your life. So until next time, thank you for watching. Don't forget to share, subscribe, and leave some comments, some feedback of what you would like to, some of the topics you would like to hear from me or suggestions so that I could bring you more of these messages and more stories that you've been hearing from my guests as well. So until next time.